From marrying in secret to creating a new championship title, Sasha Banks earned a reputation as one of the strongest and most innovative wrestlers in history, until she walked out on the WWE. During a candid interview on the Making Their Way to the Ring podcast in 2017, Sasha Banks, born Mercedes Kastner Varnado, claimed her father was abusive toward her mother, recalling always being scared of him growing up. By the time she turned 2, he had allegedly left their family in the dust to start a new life in Oregon. Banks, her mother, and her autistic brother traveled across the United States in search of a better life. When she was 12 years old, the future WWE star's mom broke the news that they would be relocating from Iowa to Oregon to be closer to her father. It apparently didn't take long for her mom to realize that old habits die hard, Banks revealed. "I was so miserable and I was so depressed in Oregon. Finally, my mom's like, he's not helping us. So we packed our stuff. We left." While Banks' father, Rayo Varnado, would eventually come to take pride in his daughter's accomplishments, he died in January 2022. Her mother was unemployed after moving the family of 3 from Oregon to Minnesota, and they had to live in a hotel room for a few years. When her mom finally landed a job, Banks made the bold decision to quit school and take online courses so she could become her brother's full-time caregiver. She was 13 at the time. While discussing the experience, Banks stated, "I don't know what a childhood is. I never had my teenage years. I never went to prom. I never really had a boyfriend. I knew nothing." Because she was willing to make such a huge sacrifice, Banks asked her mom for one thing in return. The sports star told her mom, "I'll do anything for this family. Just give me wrestling." If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website. Like most kids, Sasha Banks initially assumed she'd grow up and have a typical job, but all that changed at the age of 10 when she came across a wrestling show on TV. She told the NZ Herald she fell in love with the sport immediately. Those closest to her weren't pleased with her newfound career goal.
When I first started watching wrestling, I remember I turned on the TV because there was nothing on, and my mom came in and was like, "What are you watching? This is bad."
Banks recalled her grandmother asking, "You want to get beat up for a living?" Despite her family's skepticism, Banks' accolades in the wrestling world have been vast. In 2016, she and rival Charlotte Flair became the first women to compete in a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view match. The year before that, Banks became the first woman to win the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Feud of the Year when she was bested by Bayley. While discussing the physical demands of wrestling, Banks said, "There is something about taking a beating and giving someone a beating that is so much fun. It's acting, being an athlete, being a superstar." Sasha Banks began pursuing a wrestling career when she was just a kid, telling BET that she reached out to several wrestling schools via email begging for a chance. She finally got her break at age 17, when she was invited to attend the New England Pro Wrestling Academy in Boston. When her mom landed a job in the same city, it was the perfect opportunity for their family to make yet another move. Reflecting on the transition, Banks recalled, "I was 17, about to turn 18. I told my mom, I'm 18 now. I just signed these papers by myself and I'm going to do this. I was the only girl in that little tryout fantasy camp." Despite the highly competitive nature of the industry, Banks was up for the challenge. She trained long and hard and never stopped pursuing the WWE for a chance. Banks claims that she emailed the organization weekly until they finally offered her an opportunity to try out. Sasha Banks has shared how she looked toward many hip-hop stars to help shape her wrestling persona, but rap wasn't the only art form that inspired her. When she was a kid, she drew inspiration from the 90s anime Sailor Moon. Banks was enthralled by the strong and powerful female cartoon characters on a quest to change the world. She told Still Real to Us, "I felt like watching Sailor Moon was like looking in a mirror." After watching the lineup of Japanese superheroes, Banks began to model her wrestling persona around them. She admitted, "Once I put my wrestling gear on and I see that red camera while hearing those fans, I am a whole different person. I feel like I can do anything." Some of the best wrestlers made a name for themselves with their catchy ring names or slogans. Sasha Banks wanted to honor this tradition by adding a memorable nickname to her persona, and once again turned to hip-hop artists for inspiration. Since her wrestling persona is centered around bragging, boasting, and showing off massive amounts of confidence, Banks told the Orlando Sentinel, "I was looking at people like Snoop, Kanye West, and Nicki Minaj, then somehow the idea 'I'm the boss' clicked with me." She told BET that being around her cousin, Snoop Dogg, convinced her to run with her powerful calling card. Banks noticed that his security guards and friends call him boss and decided she deserved the same respect.
I was so nervous and so shy when I first started, and I was like, you know what, people around him call him the boss, so I'm like, I'm gonna take that.
She began calling herself the boss, and everyone else soon followed suit, Banks explained. "I told myself, once I get my opportunity, I want to show people why I'm here to be the best women's wrestler of all time, and that's why I made my name." Sasha Banks is very open when it comes to talking about the struggles she faced during her childhood, but one topic she's been fairly private about is her marriage to former wrestler and WWE costume designer Sarat Kid Makazi Tan. The couple secretly tied the knot back in 2016, but it wasn't until a March 2017 interview with Making Their Way to the Ring that she broke the news to host Lillian Garcia. Banks explained that she and her husband chose to hide their marriage from the public eye because some people online took to insulting Tan via Twitter. Banks explained,
"If you're saying he's ugly or, he shouldn't be with me because of this or that, that hurts me,
The Four Horsewomen member doesn't take kindly to followers dissing her true love, Banks explained. "I remember when we got married and a picture was leaked, it was trending, and fans were like, why? But did those guys really think they could marry me? Come on." Banks and Tan appear to be going strong, sharing their low-key married life with their adorable corgi, Ryu. The WWE's Women's Tag Team Championship was established in December 2018. In February 2019, Sasha Banks and Bayley, better known as the Boss and Hug Connection, became the inaugural champions, according to ProWrestling.net. Not only was Banks one of the first women's tag team champions, she's also partially responsible for bringing the title into existence at all. She told Sky Sports that Vince McMahon had to be convinced that bringing women's tag team titles to the WWE was a good idea, so Banks and Bayley went to work. McMahon would frequently flip-flop on his answer, changing his mind from one week to the next. Banks said, "It felt like the whole of last year we were asking, like we would be knocking on the door of Vince's office every week." He finally gave the title the green light, and the ordeal taught Banks a valuable lesson. In the same interview, she explained, "If you're annoying enough, you can make things happen, and that's probably what happened. He just got annoyed with us." From Stone Cold Steve Austin to CM Punk, walkouts in the WWE aren't totally uncommon. However, the blowback from Sasha Banks' walkout has been unusually fiery. It raised a lot of questions about her role in the organization. So, what actually happened? Rumors have been swirling ever since she stormed out of a Monday Night Raw taping in May 2022. In a statement, the WWE claimed Banks and Naomi, the reigning women's tag team champions, walked into WWE head of talent relations John Laurinaitis' office with their suitcases in hand, placed their tag team championship belts on his desk, and walked out, refusing to participate in the main event. The pair reportedly claimed they weren't comfortable with their opponents and weren't respected enough as tag team champions. According to Vulture, this all but confirmed the rumors of behind-the-scenes tensions within the WWE. Banks and Naomi were allegedly unhappy with a new storyline that transformed them from teammates into opponents, with Naomi defeating Banks before each moved on to individual fights. Other online rumors alleged the women's grievances escalated to screaming matches prior to the walkout, with the WWE claiming the pair were, quote, spoiled and needed to fix their attitudes. Banks has since unfollowed the organization, former WWE chairman Vince McMahon, and some of her other wrestling colleagues on social media. According to the New York Post, the WWE stripped the two tag team champions of their titles and indefinitely suspended both Banks and Naomi. Since the walkout, Sasha Banks' future with the WWE has been uncertain. Though there's been no confirmation, it's been rumored that Banks was released from the WWE entirely. Other rumors claim a return is impending. It's unclear if the decision was mutual, if Banks was fired, or if her contract simply wasn't renewed. According to WrestleTalk, Banks has wanted a release since 2019, but was continually denied by Vince McMahon. In May 2022, former WWE writer and MSG Network host Kazim Famayude claimed Banks' contract was set to expire within the next 2 months, making her official exit in July.
So, bye.
According to Celebrity Net Worth, the star is worth an estimated $4 million. Most of her success has to do with her 12-year career as a wrestler, putting Banks among WWE's highest-paid women, which includes superstars Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. As of September 2022, the WWE has pulled all Sasha Banks merchandise from its shop and removed her Facebook page. Though she's still listed on the WWE's official roster, they also removed a reference to her during SmackDown and edited her out of the program's intro. Banks' husband Ton has taken to Twitter to refute claims that she was barred from WWE live events.